month off, we are back with an open war game and got a brand new army. The Thousand Suns have finally appeared. A lot of requests to get the Thousand Suns going, so here they are. So we're playing open war missions. Find this is probably the most enjoyable way to play the game, I think. So we've pulled our deployment card. It's this unusual deployment. 18 inches in the centre for the Eldar, and then on the wings in the red are where the Thousand Suns are. For the objectives for the missions, originally we pulled burn and pillage. So there's 6 objectives on the board. If you capture the objective, if it's the enemies have the enemy has 3 and your own force has 3. If you capture the enemies, then it is destroyed and that's a point for you. If you destroy them all, then you've won. And so with the open war cards, you select a twist card, and this one, many paths to victory, means you pull a second objective card. So this basically is kill points almost. You count up the power level of what is killed at the end, and then the winner, of course, takes that objective. If both players score each of these objectives, then it's a draw. So Ahriman, very keen on learning the secrets of the Aeldari, has been able to summon some objectives that were once lost for the Eldar. So these are runes. They've been summoned up through the ground, and Ahriman has come to claim with his army. So the Eldar, scrying the fates, see this coming, so they've set up a defensive force in the meantime. So for the Eldar, it'll be these objectives. So there's 3 of them. There's one here right in front of the Wraith Knight. There's another one, as you can see, just through there. There it is, just in front of the avatar, and then the last one is isolated all the way over here. So 3 for the Eldar. They need to hold these, stop the Thousand Suns from getting there and disgracing their artifacts. And the Thousand Suns have 3 as well. So over here we've got the Bloody Scrolls, legendary Bloody Scrolls, and fire portal there. And then the 3rd objective is another fire portal here. So these are, I'm just going to say, these are seeds that Ahriman have planted on this planet for demonic corruption. So the flames will represent Tzeentchian portals that are just budding, and the Bloody Scrolls will be for corn. No extra rules for those in this mission, but I might come up with some in the future for that. But just the seeds being planted, so the Eldar need to stamp those out. If they get within 3 of those, they can close those portals and get themselves the points needed. Okay, 2,000 points of Thousand Suns. So we've got a battle forged army, and it's a battalion detachment, so we've got 6 command points to play with here. HQs will start. We've got Ahriman, he's the warlord, so his warlord trait gives him a 3+ invulnerable save. For psychic powers, we've gone for Doombolt, Warp Time and Prescience. We've got his second in command, this exalted sorcerer. He's got plasma pistol. And for a relic, it's a toss-up between the Helm of the Third Eye and the Dark Matter Crystals, but we're going for the Helm of the Third Eye here. His psychic powers, he's got Diabolic Strength and Temporal Manipulation. So we've got troops now, so we've got 2 units of cultists, big units, 20 here, hand-to-hand ones with a flamer. We've got 25 here with the auto guns. 2 units of rubric, so both exactly the same, all with the Inferno Bolters and a Soul Reaper cannon in there. Both aspiring sorcerers have a plasma pistol each tucked under their robe, and there's an icon of flame in each unit as well. See if we can get those 6s going. So for psychic powers, this unit, he's casting his hand out, so we've given him an offensive power. He's got Tzeentch's Firestorm, and this unit, he's looking a bit more defensive, so we've given him a Glamour of Tzeentch, so you can get a -1 to hit that unit if he gets that power off. We've got 2 spawn in fast attacks, just a single unit of 2, and almost missed them out. The Scarab Occult Terminators are another elite slot, so they've all got the combi bolters except him. He's got the Soul Reaper cannon, and we've got the Hellfire missile rack, and the sorcerer for that squad, he's got Weaver of Fate, so he can possibly improve their invulnerable save by 1. And we've got some vehicles gifted to Ahriman from Abaddon. So we've got 2 Forge Fiends with the Ectoplasma cannon in the maw and the Gatling guns there. We've got 2 Hellbrutes, 2 Power Fists and Flamers in each palm for that one, and Power Scourge and a double last cannon for that one. So everything's Tzeentch keyword. These are just totally gifted to Thousand Suns. They've yet to be painted that way if they survive the battle. So there we have it.
So here we have the Eldar host, 2,000 points from the Ulthwe Craftworld, said by Eldrad Ulthran there. He has Guide, Fortune and Doom plus Smite. And we have some Wraith Guard next to him. And Spirit Seer. Spirit Seer has the Conceal, Reveal, Power and Smite. The Wraith Guard, they've got the Wraith Cannons. And they're probably riding in the Wave Serpent there, just 2 Bright Lancers. And we've got a squadron of Jetbikes, Wind Riders, I believe they're called these days. Squadron of Vipers with Shoot and Catapult Cannon. And we have the Avatar, a unit of Scouts, Rangers there. We have a small unit of Guardians with a Bright Lance support weapon. We have a bigger 20-man unit of Guardians just with their Shoot and Catapults. We have a battery of, what are these called?
Vol's Wrath Support Battery.
That's the one.
That's the long name.
And then we have the Wraith Knight himself there with 2 heavy Wraith Cannon.
So for deployment, Eldar had the benefit of setting up 1 unit first. We do use the chapter approved way of setting up a game, which find it more even. So Eldar set up a unit first, then we'll go backwards and forwards. So the Eldar have got in this Wave Serpent, they've got the Wraith Guard, Eldrad's in there, and so is the Spirit Seer. There's a 20-man Guardian unit set up in the web. We're ready to come through that portal and deliver their death. And then everyone else is pretty much set up around that. So we've got the Avatar and Guardians on top, the batteries in the centre, there's the Vipers, and of course we know where the Wraith Knight is. So for the Thousand Suns, they've got Cultists looking after the Bloody Scrolls, Ahriman and Rubric Squad. They're going to march on out, looking to put the pain on the Eldar. And then we've got a Hellbrute looking after one of the fire portals. So he's just being cheeky there, peering around the corner. Over here, slightly thin on defence. The Eldar have chosen to set up strong here, so we've just got 2 spawn, expendable spawn. We've got a Forge Fiend in the distance there. He's going to try and take on the might of that Wraith Knight. And then over here a bit more of a cluster, because there is a fire portal here. We've got another Forge Fiend. We've got Hellbrute with a double fist and Flamer, Exalted Sorcerer, and there's the Cultist squad. So they need to set out, try and defile some of these relics. So Thousand Suns also have the keys to the webway as well, so we've set up a unit of Rubrics in the webway. They're ready to come through, and the Terminators are in Teleport Deep Strike, so we'll have our own units to come out of nowhere. So, okay, so the all-important who goes first roll. So the Eldar finish deploying first, so they'll get +1 to this dice roll. So the Thousand Suns are going to get a 2, Eldar get a 4. So Eldar will go first, but we can try and steal the initiative. No, it's another 2. Right, so Eldar will go first. Eldar turn 1, so they begin to move out, and the Wraith Guard and Eldrad and the Spirit Seer, they've piled out of the Wave Serpent. The Wave Serpent didn't move, so it won't have any penalty for its heavy weapons in the future, but Eldrad and his team are on the way to deal with these spawns. So the Bikes and the Vipers want to get rid of the spawn. There's no first blood in this game, but just killing units is good enough, and these are fast enough to just get anywhere themselves, so they're looking like they're going to move around in a clump, this war host, and just chew up anything that gets in the way. So the Avatar just turns back a little bit. He doesn't want to go too far because he'll expose himself. He is a character, so he can't be targeted, so he's just hiding himself amongst the Eldar. And since he does, he's got a radius of 12 where you don't have to take a morale test, so he does something even if he's not cutting people in twain with the Will and Doom. And as we see up there, the Rangers decided to deploy there just before the first round kicked off. So they're up high, looking to probably take on a character or two. And the big move, 12 inches, gets right in front of the Forge Fiend. So he's going to have to tangle with those dangerous feet of the Wraith Knight. Keep wanting to call him a Wraith Lord, but he's a Wraith Knight. He's bigger. Alright, so I've done the Psychic Phase also. So the Spirit Seer, he cast the Conceal power onto these jet bikes, so they're now at a -1 to hit. Eldrad also gives them Fortune. For some reason they've got a bad omen on these bikes, want to buff them up. And Eldrad, he tries Guide on the Wraith Knight that's blocked by this Exalted Exalted Sorcerer. Here, he gets blocked. And Eldrad does manage to doom this Hellbrute. It's the one with the fists. He's public enemy #1. He always gets taken out in the first turn. Let's hope that he can survive this encounter. So, Psychic Power's done. Almost a clean sweep for the Eldar, apart from that denial on Guide for the Wraith Knight. So, let's get the shots going. Okay, so we've got 5 Wraith Guard with the Wraith Cannons. Going to try and take on the spawn here. Deadly weapons, 5 shots. Hitting on 3s, that's a woeful roll. Terrible roll, only 1 hit. It is strength 10, so you need a wound on a 2. Does get that wound, so there's nothing we can do. It's AP -4, just carve straight through the tentacles. 6 damage, so that's 1 spawn, just instantly killed. So it was just as well that all the bikes decided to gang up on this spawn, because that was a pitiful roll. Okay, next up were the Guardians. Fire the shuriken catapults down at the spawn, and the Bright Lance is going to go at the doomed Hellbrute in the corner there. So we've already done the shots on the catapults. We've got 5s for wounds, so there's 2 wounds, and a Blade Storm, which is a 6. So there's an automatic wound, 2 to save on 5s for the spawn. 1 save, so the spawn's taking 2 wounds, there's plenty more to fire. But let's see how that Bright Lance gets on. So 1 shot from the Bright Lance at the Hellbrute. Does hit, it didn't move, so that was good. He's wounded on 3s, and he gets to re-roll because of Doom. Oh no, we're blocked Doom, sorry. We're blocked, no we didn't, we're blocked Guide. So Doom is in effect, so that is good. AP -4, just carve straight through his armour. So D6 damage. It's a 2.
Go for a reroll.
So command reroll gonna happen, and it's a 6. 2 wounds left on the Hellbrute, and because he spent a command point, we actually get to use the Third Eye Helm, or the Helm of the Third Eye. On a 5, we get a command point ourselves. Yes, so it wasn't the end of the world. Back up to 6 command points now. Right, the Wind Riders going to target the spawn. He's only got 2 wounds left. They might be able to polish him off. 4 shots each. It's a better roll than the last time. It's pretty good. There's a 1 in there. Right, so needing 5s to wound against this spawn. Right, so there's another Blade Storm. So no save for him, so he's on his last wound. Then there's 2 5s, so there's 2 saves to be made on 5s. Need to get both of these or he's dead. And he is reduced to writhing tentacles on the floor. So that's the first squad down. Not a lot of power points, the spawn, but there's money in the bank. This Were Serpent's now going to fire, so it's got the Shuriken Cannon is going to go at the rubrics behind it, and the twin Bright Lance is going to make sure they get this Hellbrute seen off from the battle. So what's first?
Cannon.
Shuriken Cannon, so 2 hits, yeah. 3s to wound on the rubrics. 1 wound. Because it's only damage 1, we get all his dust roll, which means we get +1 our save. So saving on a 2, and we get it. So no casualties for the rubrics. So we've got 2 Bright Lance shots coming at that Hellbrute. 3s to hit, and it's a miss. So can't re-roll either because that damage roll was re-rolled earlier. We do like to keep some match play rules going. So that's it from that Bright Lance. Still more to come. So the Wraith Knight is going to fire, or it has fired. It's got the scatter lasers on the Cultist, and then the heavy Wraith Cannons at the Hellbrute. So we've already fired the scatter lasers. There's 5 wounds on the Cultist, 6s to save. Get 2, that's not too bad. So 3 Cultists go down, and then we've got the big shots on the Hellbrute. So there's 4 heavy Wraith Cannons across the bow, and he's hit them all. Didn't even need Guide in the end. 3s, and he's doomed, so you can reroll that 1. So that is all she wrote. So that is the damage because it goes straight through his armour. So he's dead 100 times over. He only had 2 wounds left. So it just wouldn't be a game if the Hellbrute didn't get knocked out in the first turn. So there he goes. So the important roll is, does he explode? Let's hope not. Oh, he's exploded. We're going to use a command reroll. Can't afford any wounds on all this important stuff here. And he doesn't explode. So get another bite of the cherry. Goes down quietly. Vipers now. They go for the Forge Fiend. 4 wounds handed out to the Forge Fiend. He's going to need to save on 3s. He gets all but 1, so he's taking his first wound. Right, we've just seen the last of the Eldar shooting now. The artillery, there they are. All 3 of them fire into the cultists. As you say, there's not a lot of cultists left. There's only 6. But it wasn't them who did the job. They only took 4 cultists away, and it was the snipers. Unbelievable work from the snipers. 5 shots, 3 mortal wounds, and then 4 kills. So they killed more than the battery themselves, killed 7. So in total, we've lost 14 cultists. So we're going to probably fail that morale check. Okay, so the assault phase, the Wraith Knight is going in, doesn't really need to roll, he's very close. We've done the Overwatch, we've put a single wound on him, those Ulthwe saves kicking in, the Foresight of the Damned Rope. So he's only taken a single wound, so now he's going to use his feet and trample all over this Forge Fiend. He's hit on 3s, so there's all but 2, and he's strength 8 with the feet, so wounding on 3s, he's only toughness 7. And a few 2s in there, and a couple of 1s, so that is 5, 6, 7. So 7, and these are AP minus 2 getting stomped on, I think. So he's 7 on his invulnerable 5s in the end. So how many did I say? 7?
7.
Right, so 7 on invulnerable 5s. Dangerous stuff. Nope, that's not very good. So there's 6d3 damage. So he's already taken a wound, he's got 11 left. Okay, so there's 10 left. Then he's taken 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. So he's gone. Totally wasted. Let's see if he explodes in the face of the Wraith Knight. No, he just peters out. Okay, so that is the end of the turn for the Eldar, so no need for a morale check here. We've lost the whole unit, 14 killed. We'll see the rest of them off, only being leadership 6. So cultists run away. Too snowy, too cold. Right, after that sledgehammer turn from the Eldar, we've called in all of the reserves for the Thousand Suns. We need them, and everyone's just moved out of this area. It's not a good place to be, except the Forge Fiend. He's going to hold tight on this flame portal. He's going to just have his last stand there. The Exalted Sorcerer, he advances over to this objective, so we'll actually steal these ancient Inari knowledge from this ruin. There's nothing the Eldar can do about it, so we'll be... there's 2 left after we've nicked that one. We've beamed in through the webway, these rubrics, so they're going to open fire on... probably in this channel here. We wouldn't mind killing some Wraith Guard. Over here the cultists, they just fan out, still holding this objective. And then the rubrics move forward here next to the pipe. They're going to have some long range shots down the range there. Ahriman, he's got within 6 of the Hellbrute, who's still on that objective, so he's going to fire off his last cannon, or last cannons, because he's got 2 of them these days. And over there, so over here, more reserves coming in. We've got the Terminators. Really feel sorry for them. They've gone into the heart of the enemy just to get this objective from the Eldar. They will claim it at the end of this turn. Nothing the Eldar can do. They've left themselves exposed on 2 of these objectives. There's only 1 more to go, so it's pretty much going to pin the Eldar in the centre. They've been a bit hasty getting out there, so the Scarbock Terminators are going to take that objective, but it's the cost of their lives probably. There's not a lot on offer. Probably the scouts are going to be targeted. Ahriman is kicking off the psychic phase. He's already done Prescient onto the Hellbrute with the last cannon. He's moving on to Doombolt now, and it's with an extension of 6 inches to the range of Thousand Suns psychic powers. He's going to be able to reach this Wave Serpent. So this passes on a 9, but Ahriman gets a +1 to the dice roll, and he's failed. Not very good. There's nobody around to stop him doing his psychic powers as well, so he's got 1 more to do, and I think we're just going to smite the Wave Serpent. So there's 5 and a 6, so it's a super smite. Right, I could make up for the lack of Doombolt, so D6 mortal wounds. Oh, just a 2. I think we're going to use a command point to re-roll. No, we're not, because it's a good idea to keep a command point re-roll in tow in case you perils with one of your rubric squads, because that would be catastrophic. So just 2 mortal wounds. Ulthwe do get a save because of their foresight of the damned, so they don't get it, so it's 2 wounds on the Wave Serpent. Right, we're going to move on to this rubric squad. We're going to do the Icon of Flame. The nearest unit is the Wraith Guard, so on a 6 they'll take a mortal wound. No. And then we're going to do Tzeentch's Firestorm from the Aspiring Sorcerer. We're going to target the Wave Serpent since we've done 2 wounds. Needs to come off on a 7, and that doesn't come off either. We're just going to let that go. Can't use a command point for that one. Don't want to do it. Okay, we're finishing off with a few more psychic powers now. We've done the Glamour of Tzeentch on this squad, so they're now at a -1 to hit, and the Terminators give themselves a +1 to their invulnerable save, so we're trying to give them every chance to survive over there, but we've left the smite till last over here, so he's at a -1 now on his smite because we're going to use the beta rules for that, so he will be targeting the Wraith Guard there the nearest, so it's going to need to get this off on a 6 at least. So it's a 7. Eldrad can deny 2 powers a turn. He tried to deny the Weaver of Fates over there. He failed, but he might get this one because that's only a 7 past there.
Right.
Okay, so Eldrad has said no to that one. So no more psychic powers for him, just in case. You can't really do anything. We've only got Diabolic Strength and Temporal Manipulation, which we were hoping would get on the Hellbrute if he survived, because you can heal D3 wounds, but you can't heal a wreck, and he hasn't taken any wounds yet, so his powers are not yet coming in effect. So we're going to have to rely on the old-fashioned way, which is bolt guns. Okay, first shots of the game for the Thousand Suns. We're going to have the Hellbrute with the double las cannon. It's going to fire at the Wave Serpent, and we're going to invoke Fire Frenzy, so he gets to fire twice. It's only a command point. Definitely worth doing it. It's got to be the nearest unit, but the nearest unit happens to be the Wave Serpent anyway. So we're just going to do both shots together, so that's 4 shots, and because of prescience we're hitting on 2s against the Wave Serpent. And we'll get 3, and then we'll reroll 1s because Ahzek Ahriman is near him, cheering him on to get higher than a 1, and he does. All hit, right, so it's strength 9 against 7, 3s to wound. Get all but 1, so there's 3 saves of 6 that you need for the Wave Serpent for armor saves. Gets 1 of them, right. So 2d6 for damage. So there is a double 5, right. So you can invoke your Serpent Shield. So on a 2+, this gets bounced down to a 4. So on a 2+. So that gets bounced down to a 4. And then this one on a 2+, it'll get bounced down to a 4. Right, yeah, so that one gets bounced down to a 4 as well. So 8 saves to make for Ulthwe, Foresight of the Damned. So it's really underrated, Foresight of the Damned, I think. They just keep on getting 6s, it really works. Just like that, yeah. So 4 wounds on the Wave Serpent from those las cannons. Okay, just a little quick edit there. You don't actually have to roll a 2+ for the Wave Serpent Shield to kick in when you're taking the -1 to the damage. It's only when you actually use your Serpent Shield as a shooting weapon you have to roll that 2+, so ignore that bit, just lucky it passed, so no effect there to the way that turned out. So it's still 4 wounds on the Wave Serpent because of that, and then 2 wounds previously because of smite, so it's 6 wounds. It's halfway dead-ish. Let's see if we can kill it with something else. Alright, we've had more shooting at the Wave Serpent, we've had all of the Infernal Bolts and Soul Reaper Cannon at the Wave Serpent, shaved off another 2 wounds, so it's only got 5 left now. We'll have the Scarab Occult Terminators fire all weapons at the snipers up on the top there. Only killed 1 in the end, but we've got the Hellfire Missile Rack, and that'll be firing at the Wave Serpent, so let's hope he does well. So hitting on 3s against this. He gets 1 hit with his Hellfire Missile Rack. Strength 8, needing a 3. We'll get it. It's AP -2, so you need to save on a 5 for the Wave Serpent. Does not save, right, so it's D3 damage. It's the full 3, right, so of course the Wave Serpent Shield will bump that down to 2, so there's 2 wounds need to save on 6s for Ulthwe, Foresight of the Damned. Gets 1 of them, keeps on cropping up these saves. So 4 left on the Wave Serpent. Right, so that Wave Serpent's down to 4 wounds left. We're trying to shave off that last wound with a couple of auto gun shots, just couldn't do it. So we moved on to the Forge Fiend. Played Demon Forge so it can reroll hitting the wounds. Fired all guns at the Vipers. Only took 4 wounds on one of the Vipers, so two left on one of the Vipers. Still just struggling to do significant damage. So we're going to rely on the rubrics now. We're going to play Veterans of the Long War. We're burning through command points just trying to do something. So we've got 2 left now for command points. So we're going to split our fire like this. We're going to have a Plasma Pistol from the Aspiring Sorcerer at the Wraith Guard. And then we're going to have Soul Reaper Cannon at the Wounded Viper. And then all the bolters are going at the Wave Serpent. So spreading our fire, just trying to make sure we mop up some of these damaged vehicles. So we're going to do the Soul Reaper Cannon first at the Viper in the distance. So reroll 1s because the Exalted Sorcerer is with them. So he hits all but 1, which he can reroll. So he gets 4. Right, normally wounded on 4s, but with the Veterans of the Long War, going to need 3s. That is good from him, right? We've got all wounds there, 4 wounds. You need to save on your armor save of 6 because it's AP minus 3. So you need another one, so it's 4 wounds, not just 3. Right, so he saves that one. Now you need 6s because of Foresight of the Damned. Does get 1, but 2 will do it. There's 1 jet bike gone down, so on a 6 it'll explode as well. Let's hope it explodes. Every little helps. Yes. Are you going to command point reroll that, or are you just going to allow it to blow up? So just wanted to take a little bit of time just before I decided to reroll, but this is the outcome. We'll get all the characters there, even though that unit, we'll get the Guardians up there, the Scouts up there, we'll get all these. So it's going to choose to reroll with that command point. It's only a mortal wound, but everything counts. So the reroll saves them that trouble. Because he used a command point, the Helm of the Third Eye, let's see if we get a command point ourselves back. No, right. So that Wave Serpent, the Viper has gone down. That's good news. First casualty there. Right, so back on with the rest of the shots. Right, we've got Plasma Pistol at the Wraith Guard as promised. Does hit. This is not overcharged. You don't want to do that on your expensive sorcerers. So it does wound. So you need to save on a 6. It's AP minus 3. And gets that. A lot of 6s being rolled for the Eldar for saves. It's pretty hard to deal with. Right, we're going to do all the bolters, the Infernal Bolters at the Wave Serpent now. With Veterans of the Long War applied, we're only wounded on 4. So this seems like a good idea, and we'll reroll 1 because of the Exalted Sorcerer. So 2 to reroll. Okay, that one fails, and then we've got another 2 fails in there, but there's a success hidden away. Right, 4s to wound. AP minus 2, so these are not bad. Well, they shouldn't be bad at taking out vehicles, but best not count our chickens, because that happens. We've only got 3 wounds. Terrible. So 7 on 5s, because it's AP minus 2. So 2 wounds, and then 2 Foresight of the Damned saves. Both go through, right, so there's 2 wounds taken off. It's only got 2 wounds left, so it's on its last bracket. It's severely damaged, but we just couldn't kill it. Okay, so that is the end of the Thousand Suns turn. Pretty disappointing for damage, got to say. We had opportunities there, but it just didn't come off. That's damage, it's on its last bracket now. We did take away a Viper. But what we didn't do in damage, what we've done is achieved some of the mission requirements. So we've held this objective now, so we've stolen the secrets of the Inari runes on this side. And on this side, we've stolen these as well. So their fate is pretty much sealed, but they've done the job. So now they're staring down a Wraith Knight and all the rest of the Eldar force, but they've done the job. And so with those objectives wrapped up, there's just 1 more to go. If we can hold that, then we've got a chance of at least drawing the game, if we can just take that off them. But it's going to be hard work. It's right in the middle of the Hornet's Nest. Aeldari turn 2, so 2 objectives down for them. They've got to defend that one in the middle, so Eldrad and the Wraithguard are still standing there, going to stand and deliver against the rubrics up there. Everyone else, however, is pulled towards this way, so the Guardians have advanced, but they can still fire as part of their special rule without penalty. The Brightlands did stay still. The bikes have came around, the Vipers got a sight on them as well. Wraith Lord, Wraith Knight, he's turned around, Avatar is on his way, and in comes the 20 Guardians. So this is just massively overkill. They're leaving nothing to chance here, so the predictions were right, just going around in a massive clump and just taking out the Thousand Suns units piecemeal. But it's a whole army's dedicated to taking out these Scarbuckle Terminators, and it pretty much will happen. So we've done psychic, or some of the psychic tests at the moment. So Eldrad, he doomed this squad if it wasn't bad enough, if they didn't doom, so they're doomed in both sense of the word now. Guide was passed onto the Wraith Knight as well. When he did doom, he perils. 3 mortal wounds came his way, blocked 2 of them with his Ghost Helm and suffered a wound. So Eldrad racked his mind there to try and get that off. But now he's going to do Smite, so we're going to see what occurs here. So there he is, he's going to try Smite on the rubrics. We've tried to deny all of the previous sighted powers to no avail. We'll need to deny this one, so we'll have to see where he rolls. It's a 9, that's not the worst. Right, we're going to need a 10. We're going to use the Exalted Sorcerer to try and block this. Need a 10. It's not to be, right, so it's D3 mortal wounds on the rubrics, nothing we can do about it. And it's the full 3, of course, so there's 3 rubrics. Smited. Smote.
Smitten.
Okay, Spirit Seer is next. He's going to smite. He's got the helm from Ulthwe, so he adds 1 to his smite. So with the beta, he's back on 5s to pass. Again, that's a big score. That's a 10. We're going to need an 11 to deny. We're going to use the Aspiring Sorcerer to do this. Nope. So there's another D3 wounds coming their way. There's nothing we can do. No saves against these whatsoever. So another 2. So the squad is just halved, just like that. Nasty. Okay, shooting phase commences for Ulthwe, and the shooting gallery opens up. So Guardians fire first, then the Guardians up here, then the bikes, then the Viper, then the Avatar, but there's only 2 dead. Really, really good saving from these with all his dust in play, and with them having the Fate of Zinj, something about the Fate, which gives them a +1 to the invulnerable save, saving on invulnerable 3, so all those Blade Storm hits that came in will have good saves against them. So in the end, only 2 have died, but now they're going to have to go up against the Wraith Knight when he decides to stomp all of them, if that's what he chooses to do. But for Small Arms Fire, finished over here, we've done very well, only losing 2 Scarbuckle Terminators. Eldar just going to look to put the boot in when the time comes to finish them off. And the Brightlands from that Guardian squad also fired at the Forge Fiend. Hit, didn't get the wound though, so getting some lucky results so far, but how far our luck will go, who knows. Because it's now time for the Wraithguard to fire. There's 5 Wraith Cannons still left. They're going up to the rubrics, so hitting on 3s. Again, it's a poor performance from them. So just 2 hits with these, and they're wounded on 2s. So they are mega dangerous. Only 1. Well, that was not very good. So invulnerable 5 save for the rubrics. Don't get it, so we'll lose an additional 1. So this is going to really hurt us when it comes to morale phase, because Thousand Suns run away. They used to be fearless, but now there's a brain inside that armour with the dust. Right, Eldrad and the Spirit Seer both fire the pistols off. Both hit, both roll a double 6 for Blade Storm hit, and kill another 2 rubrics. So just going down thick and fast now. There's only 3 left, and they're probably going to get polished off by this Wave Serpent now. It's going to drop its Serpent Shields. It's on a 2+. It's D3 mortal wounds for them. So it comes off on a 2+, so D3 mortal wounds. It's the full 3, that is the unit gone. Just totally wiped out. So massive blunder from them going up there, just being shot out pretty easily. And the rest of the weapons are dedicated towards this, so it's heavily damaged, so it's hitting on 5s now. So 2 Bright Lances hitting on 5s, don't hit. And then the shooting cannon, might as well do. No hits there either. The shooting phase not over for the Aeldari yet. We've got the snipers. They're going to fire down on this Exalted Sorcerer. So there's 4 of them left now.
4.
Yep, so hitting on 3s. So 3 hits and 4s. Any 6s are additional mortal wounds. So just 1 wound on a 4. 7 on a 3. No, there's a wound for him. And now we've got the big Wraith Knight in the distance. He's going to fire the big cannons at the Forge Fiend and then small scatter lasers at the Terminator. So we'll do the big Wraith cannons first, so 4 shots. And he's got guide, so you can re-roll. Only 1 miss so far, so there's 4 hits, 3s to wound. It's strength 10, so 4 saves to be made. On invulnerable 5s, let's wish him luck. And saves 1 of them, so 3d6 damage. And he's been smoked like a kipper. Doesn't matter if it explodes, there's no one around, so there's the second, and that exposes the flame portal, so that's out in the open now. If the Eldar want to go and take that, if they can be bothered, they're just shooting the Thousand Suns off the board so far. Right, so pulse lasers as promised at the pulse lasers, the what are they called? Scatter lasers at the Scarab Occult Terminator. So 8 shots can be re-rolled with guide, so 4 need re-rolling. And strength 6, so they're needing 3s to wound. So just 2 go away. 3s to wound. So they're all wound, so that's 6 in total. And 2s to save. So 1 wound. So pretty good result from them before they get stomped all over, but you can't keep a good Terminator down. Right, last things to fire this round is the artillery. All 3 go on the cultists in the corner, so 9 dead out of this mass group, so going to be a morale check coming their way. Hopefully it's not too severe, because that's all the shooting for the Aeldari. Now the Wraith Knight goes in. We've done the Overwatch, no damage. Did put a wound on him, but he saved it. So here we go then, big stomps, 12 dice coming their way. So 12 stomps, hitting on 3s. So rerolls only work in the shooting phase, so he's just going to have to put up with a big score there anyway. So strength 8, needing 2s to wound. Right, that's a full house, might as well just roll these. So it's 2 damage, and it's D3, no sorry, it's D3 damage, but it's AP -2. So no, all his dust saves for these, but we still do have our +1 to our saving, invulnerable throw rather. So we're saving on 4s on all these dice. Wish them luck. Not too bad, not too bad. There's 5 saves, that's pretty good. So there's 4 wounds go through. So with those wounds going through, we've got a wounded Terminator, so no, there's no chance he'll survive. Let's roll them, let's see what happens. So first one, so that's him dead. Doesn't matter what that score was. So the second one is 3 damage, that's him dead, and then yeah, there's 1 wound for the sorcerer, and then the next one will kill him. There we go. So did get it done. I'm not sure of the maths there, I didn't work it out quickly, but might have survived, but not with dice rolling like that. So there's another squad gone. 2 ancient Thousand Sun squads, just armors cracked, dust in the wind. Okay, so that is the end of the turn for Ulthwe. So we've just got a morale check over here to do. We lost 9, so 5 plus 9, so we've lost 8 more, so not enough to wipe out the squad yet. Okay, so it's turn 2 for the Thousand Suns, so we're up against it now. We've got to take this objective or else we can't even draw the game. The units that were lost are just too expensive. 14 points there for that unit gone, and 11 for the Terminator, so it's all adding up. Each Forge Fiend was worth 9, I think, so we're never going to catch up on the sort of kill point style aspect of the game. It's all about taking that ruin and just forcing a draw. So it's only turn 2, but it feels like it's the last roll of the dice. It's bizarre. Right, so what we've got is the last roll of the dice. We're going to try and get these rubrics coming forward. Basically, it's Operation Kill Everyone here. So the rubrics have come forward, Ahriman's come forward a bit, the sorcerer's flown out. Going to try and do something. We've got the Hellbrute at the back with long range shots. Going to have to take out something, and then we've got a sly heavy stubber from the cultist. It's going to try and peg off somebody. But first we're going to do Psychic Phase, but before the Psychic Phase we're going to play some stratagems. It's going to be really bizarre how this is going to try and get this to work. But this Exalted Sorcerer, we're going to use Chaos Familiar, so we're going to swap out one of our psychic powers for a different one. So we're going to swap out Temporal Manipulation. We're going to swap that out for Death Hex. So that means you select a unit within 12 that can no longer take an invulnerable save. So we're going to try and get Eldrad with that one. See if we can stop him surviving, if we can somehow get to him. It's a massive long shot. Right, straight on to the Psychic Phase then. So we're going to do Smite with this Sorcerer onto the Wraith Guard. Here he goes. So that comes off on a 7.
Deny that one.
So it's just going to try and deny with Eldrad. And it's a fail, but you can use the Runes of the Force here to reroll those dice. So that's a 7 as well. It doesn't beat it, so it does come off. So D3 damage on the Wraith Guard. Just 1. Alright, that's disappointing. Very disappointing. But we're going to have to live with it. So just 1 wound on the Wraith Guard. So now we're going to do Death Hex on Eldrad. See if we can get this off. Comes off on an 8. That's what we needed.
Trying to spell out with the Spirits here.
It's an 8, so he doesn't beat it, so it does come off Eldrad.
Reroll this one. Command roll.
Alright, command reroll. Right, he has beat it then. So, no, can't take that away from Eldrad. That was our master plan. Scuppered. So, because he used the command reroll, we can use our Helm to try and get a command point ourselves. No, that doesn't come off either. So, we're definitely up against it now. The hard jobs just got even harder. So, Ahriman, he's going to do Doombolt. We're going to do that on the Wave Serpent. Actually, no, we're not. We'll do this squad first. The Sorcerer, he's going to do Smite on the Wave Serpent, so he needs to get this off on a 6. So he does get it off. Will you try and deny that?
No.
No, so it's just a single mortal wound on the Wave Serpent, so you can save on a 6 with your Ulthwe damned save. No, so the Wave Serpent's on its last wound. Oh yeah, we've got the Icon of Flame. I'm going to have to check the range of that. Icon of Flame in the unit is not in range of the Wave Serpent. It's only on its last hold point. Need to see it go. So what else we're going to do? Right, we're going to have Ahriman. Going to take a look at these psychic powers here, see what we can come up with. Okay, Ahriman. We're going to do Smite first on the Wave Serpent. So we've got a +1 because he's Ahriman, but we're at a -1 because of the beta rules. Actually, we're at a -2 now, so we need to pass this on a 6 because we've got a +1. So that comes off. So are you going to try and deny that? That was a 9 roll, so you're going to need a 10 if Eldrad wants to try and stop that.
Have I not used all of it?
No, he's got 1 more deny you can do, I think.
What else has he got?
He's got Warp Time and he's got Doombolt.
What does Warp Time do?
Okay, so Warp Time you can double move, and Eldrad does not want that to happen, so he's going to save that for that. So D3 mortal wounds on the Wave Serpent. So getting 2, you need a double 6 or the Wave Serpent explodes. So no, right. Well, it doesn't explode, but hopefully it does on a 6. It doesn't explode, but it has disappeared, so we've finally got that out of the way. So we've got a clear charge on Eldrad now to see what we can do. So we're going to do Doombolt, and we are going to do this on Eldrad. So this passes on a 9, but because I've got +1 we need an 8. And that's a 3, so that's absolutely no good to us. So we're going to do Warp Time now. This is the Hail Mary. It's either going to work for us or it's not. So it passes on a 6, but we've got +1, so we need a 5. So that comes off on a 7. What we're going to do is a command reroll to try and reroll this higher, because we can't allow Eldrad to deny this. Still a 2. So he needs an 8 to stop Warp Time, and if he doesn't, can't reroll, because you've used all your rerolls now in this phase, and he's used his Farseer Helm. So he will move again. That's what we needed. Okay, it's been a short shooting phase since we've got very little left. We've done all of the rubrics are fired at the Wraith Guard. Managed to kill absolutely nobody. It was the Hellbrute with the last cannon shot. We've run out of command points, or else we would have done Veterans of the Long War. But the Hellbrute shot with the last cannon killed one. Plasma pistol from the Exalted missed. Well, he didn't miss, but he didn't wound. That was the problem. He didn't overcharge it either. We couldn't afford it. So that is all we've got in the firepower. Even had a cheeky heavy stubber fire through, but missed. That's what you'd expect from a cultist. So we've got one thing left to do. We're going to throw a crack grenade from Ahriman at Eldrad. He is the nearest, so we can do that. And he's, ironically, he's probably, I think he's the only one in the Thousand Suns who does have grenades. So he's going to use it, and he hits. Wounds on a 3 because Eldrad's toughness 4. Gets it, right? Eldrad needs a 3+ save. He doesn't get it. Right, it's D3 mortal, not D3 mortal wounds, it's just D3 damage for him. So 2 damage, he's going to have to save on his Foresight of the Damned on 6s. So here he goes.
It's the shooting phase, isn't it?
Yep.
Could command roll that one, couldn't it, in the shooting phase?
You could, but you can't actually because I've rolled me damage. But you can if you want to.
Because that's the only...
Yeah, so it's go on. So, I don't think I gave you the chance to re-roll there. So go on, give it a good old re-roll, and he's passed. Right, so the grenade flies off, no good. Right then, charges. This is all we've got. If not, then we're not going to do anything. Right, so Ahriman will charge in first against Eldrad, and then this sorcerer will also charge Eldrad, but Ahriman's going in first.
What? Leave him alone?
No.
Fish shooter.
He's missed, right? So Ahriman, his charge range, come on son, is 5. He's got in, but only just. Right, so the Exalted Sorcerer is going to try and get to Eldrad. It's a 6 to get to him. And we've just got it. It's not going to give us what we wanted, I don't think. We're going to have to go around to here, stay outside of an inch of the Wraith Guard. We're going to have to look at this. Okay, so he's in. We're going to fight with the Exalted Sorcerer first. Now this is really important because Eldrad, he's already taken a wound, so he's got 5 left. We need to kill him. If we do, there's only 1 model left within 3 inches of the objective, so we would have more models, therefore we could claim that objective. So what we did was we moved the Sorcerer, who could get to Eldrad, a hair's whisker away from Eldrad, and then he consolidates, or piles in rather, over his head. He's got the fly keyword, around the back of him, to get nearer the objective. So there we go. He's going to fight first against Eldrad. If we kill him, we can draw the game. It's that important. Okay, so we know the stakes. It's do or die. Well, it's draw or die. So we know where the things are. We're just going to take out that objective, so he's not. So he looks a bit better, right? So we've done all the measuring previously. If we kill Eldrad, we can draw the game. So we're going to fight with the Exalted Sorcerer first. He's got 4 attacks with his rune staff. So he rerolls 1s for himself. And he's got 4 hits. Right, so he's strength 6. Eldrad is toughness 4, so 3s to wound. We'll get 2. Right, you need to save on his invulnerable 3. We wish we got Death Hex off. And he saves them both, so not a good start. Right, second charger is Ahriman. His staff is pretty much the same as a Force Stave, but it's damage 3 against Eldrad, so this could kill him if we do well. So 2s to hit. Okay, we'll get all 4, that's a good start. Right, 3s to wound on Eldrad. All wound, right, this got to cross our fingers now. 4 wounds to save on 3s, each one is 3 damage. He's failed 2 of them.
Command
right.
reroll.
Oh, it is. You can command reroll because of the psychic phase. And he passes, right, so Eldrad won't die. He might not even get 3 wounds because he's got 3 dice. He needs to save on his Ulthwe 6s now because he's got that extra save. And he doesn't make any of them, so he's taken 3 wounds. He's got 5 left, so now he's down to 2 wounds left, and it's just not enough. We're not going to free up that objective. Because he used a command point, we get to use the eye to try and regain that, see what happens. We do not generate a command point for ourselves. So that's devastating news. Eldrad will fight back. Who's he fighting?
He'll fight the Sorcerer.
Just the Exalted Sorcerer, right. So will he use his Witchblade or the Ultramar staff? Right, so Eldrad's actually changed his mind. He's getting old. So he's changed his mind. He wants the big cheese. He's going to go for Ahzek Ahriman. Give him a club over the head. So he might as well use his rune sword, because he wounds on a 2 against Ahriman, because Ahriman's got a 3+ invulnerable. So he could kill Ahriman, because it's D3 damage. So he's hit twice. Now he needs 2s. Oh.
Could get worse than that.
Well, that's the end of that then. So, I'm just going to have a look at things here and figure out what's going to go on. Okay, so we've had a look and we're just going to end it there. So Ahriman will concede the day. He's been able to get 2 of the Aeldari relics. He's learnt enough. Doesn't feel like his life is worth a 3rd one, because what will happen is, in Eldar's next turn, is Eldrad will drop out the combat. The 2 sorcerers are exposed. They'll get shot by the Wraith Cannons and killed. There's still all of this in the corner here. We'll just have a look at it. I mean, with all the psychic might over there, with all the mortal wounds that can be dealt out to the 2 characters over here, we've got an Avatar ready to just slice people up. We've got a Wraith Knight pretty much untouched. He's only taken a wound. Full unit of Guardians, and all that the Thousand Suns have left is a Rubric squad. We saw how easy they went down. The 2 characters which are doomed, this Hellbrute, which is pretty much out the game now, and the cultists, they'll probably just get seen off by the artillery. So there's no point of playing on. That was our last ditch effort trying to get that objective. If we could, we would have just drawn the game. We're already down on power points. We've only killed 9 of Ulthwe, and Ulthwe have killed, what was the score? 46 power points
46, yeah.
of Thousand Suns. So there's no coming back. We're just going to disappear into the warp and never speak of this again.